All right. Thirdly, today, this is also big news. We have a horrible Supreme Court right now. That shouldn't be news, but we do. Thanks, by the way, to Donald Trump choosing 3 people who are now on it rather than Hillary Clinton. That cannot be ignored. That's a reality. But that disastrous Supreme Court has put a final stop to Donald Trump's demands that White House records not be provided to the committee investigating the Trump riots. This is good news. CNBC reporting, the Supreme Court has rejected a Trump request to block the release of records to the January 6th committee. The Supreme Court rejected a request from former President Trump to block those records. The ruling, which Trump cannot appeal, sets the stage for more than 700 pages of Trump White House records to soon be sent by the National Archives to the committee. That's an important detail. It is not now Trump who has to release them. It is the National Archives that will release them. Trump had argued that he had the authority as a former president to invoke executive privilege to prevent the disclosure of the records. President Biden has declined to invoke executive privilege for the records, which the committee wants as part of its probe of the invasion of the Capitol by a mob of Trump supporters. This is a very, very good decision, and it is the correct decision. Notably, the Supreme Court order, the Supreme Court decision was 8-1. The one was Justice Clarence Thomas, who dissented and said, now Trump should be able to block it. And what is particularly disturbing about that is that Clarence Thomas's wife cheered the Stop the Steal rally on January 6th that ultimately was one of the primary inciting factors of those Trump riots. And she subsequently apologized to her husband's law clerks. But given Clarence Thomas's obvious conflict of interest here, if he had respect for the law, he would recuse himself from anything even remotely related to the January 6th Trump riots. But it is Clarence Thomas after all. And imagine, I mean, just think about that. The wife of a Supreme Court justice was cheering the event and the individuals that led to an attempted insurrection in the country where your husband is a Supreme Court justice. It's absolutely stunning stuff. But Ginny Thomas is maybe something to focus on a different day. That's the Supreme Court decision. This appears to be the end. I know we say that all the time with Trump and trying to hide records. Well, this is it now, and then something else happens. By every reasonable stretch of the imagination, this is a Supreme Court decision, and this is it. And the records will be provided to the committee. Whether they will be made public deliberately or because they will leak or whatever, we do not yet know. But that's the Supreme Court decision, and it is the correct decision. Let me know what you think. Will we ever see those records? You can find me on Twitter at @dpacman. We're going to take a very quick break and be right back. One of our sponsors is Allform, hands down the easiest way to custom build your own sofa. You choose the premium fabric you want. You choose the sofa size, shape, color, even the color of the legs. You can customize every aspect of your new sofa to make sure it's the perfect fit for your home. I got my first Allform sofa a year ago. I just got a second one, which is really exciting. These really are the sofas I would have bought for my home. Even if Allform was not a sponsor, you really can't beat the quality, the modern minimal design. The sofas are spill, stain, and scratch proof. You can buy one piece and start with that, and then buy more seats and accessories to add on later. Shipping is fast and free. You get 100 days to decide if you want to keep the sofa. It comes with a forever warranty, and you'll get 20% off when you go to allform.com/Pacman. The link is right underneath this video.